Hi everybody, it's Gemma. Welcome back to Pampered Wolf and welcome to Foundation Fun Day. Just a little name that one of my subscribers came up with because I was calling it Foundation Friday and then it wasn't going live on a Friday. So we're going to call it Foundation Fun Day from now on. Today we are going to be looking at a brand new foundation from Revolution. Now this is one that really sparked my interest because recently I've been testing out all the face and body foundations, the MAC face and body, the DIOR Backstage face and body, and I've already done a comparison of both of those foundations. I will link it up here if you haven't seen it already. But Revolution have introduced their own face and body foundation and I'm going to be testing this out today. This is the Revolution Glow Body Veil Face and Body Foundation. And I have been testing this out for a few days now, so although I know how this is going to wear on my skin, I am looking forward to telling you my thoughts. So if you are new here, hi, my name's Gemma. I upload 2 to 3 videos here on YouTube every single week, and I'm also on Instagram if you fancy checking me out over there as well. I would really appreciate it if after this video you've enjoyed what you've watched, you come and join the Pampered Wolf Pack by clicking on that subscribe button and also the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. Just for a little bit of extra info for you, as this is a foundation review, the majority of my skin is normal skin. I have a slightly oily T-zone and then I have dry patches around my mouth. So I have a little bit of everything thrown into the mix. Thank you very much, skin. Let's do a little bit of bump on this and we'll get some on my face. So this is the Revolution Glow Body Veil Face and Body Foundation. It'll set you back £15 in the UK, but you get masses of product. You get 120 mils of this, which is over 4 fluid ounces. So actually, in comparison to other foundations, this is an absolute steal. This comes in 15 shades, and although this doesn't sound like very much, it is a great spectrum of shades, and they are very versatile. So this is supposed to give sheer to full coverage with a satin finish. It's supposed to be a non-sticky, lightweight, water-based formula. Can be used on the face or the body, but if you are going to use this on the body, you are supposed to use the setting spray that comes in the same range. Otherwise, this may transfer onto your clothes. This is supposed to be water resistant. It's infused with vitamin C and hyaluronic acid. It's got glycerin in there and niacinamide. It does contain a fragrance, but it is alcohol-free and cruelty-free and vegan. Let's get some of this on. Okay, so let's test these shades out on my skin. I know which one I'm going to be applying because it's the one that I've been applying all week while I've been trying this out. But I can get away with 2 of these shades. So if you've already ordered one and you're my shade twin and it's one of these 2, you should be absolutely fine. So I've got F2, F3, and F4. Now F2 is for light skin tones with a neutral undertone. F3 is for light skins with a cool undertone, and F4 is for light skins with more of a pinky undertone, and that is the one that is just way too pink for me. So this is F2, this is the neutral shade. Now obviously it looks the wrong colour when I first apply it, but when you blend this out, it's pretty much perfect. Then I'm going to go on to F3, which is more of a cool undertone. Again, this is pretty much the right shade for me. Blend it out, it's beautiful. It's undetectable on the skin. And then we've got F4, which is, as you can see, as soon as it goes on, it's just way too pink for my skin. All 3 of them I could probably get away with and make work for me, but I'm going to be using F2 today, which is for neutral undertones. Now, I have all of my skincare on my skin and I've given that plenty of time, and today probably an hour and a half's worth of time before I'm applying the foundation to my skin because I did the school run. Then we had a power cut, which was interesting to say the least. Highly inconvenient. So I'm filming this a little bit later than I'd planned. As per usual, I'm going to apply half with a brush, half with a sponge. I've already applied this with my fingertips on previous days. It can be done with fingertips if that is your preferred method of application. So this has quite a strong scent, and it's like a vanilla scent. Now, vanilla scents make me feel quite sick. I can cope with this. It does linger for a while afterwards. It's really strong. Now this is such a nice finish on the surface of the skin. I would say immediately with a brush I am getting high light coverage to low medium coverage. Definitely buildable, this one, but the nice satin finish is just really, really flattering. There's a slight sheen on the skin, just makes it a little bit glowy without looking wet. Now this is drying down incredibly quickly, and it's probably the talc in the formula that's allowing it to do that. I'm going to tell you, I've had mixed reactions with this on first application. So the first time I tried this, my skin was really quite dry and it just clung to those dry areas, and because of the quick drying down process, it didn't look very flattering. But that didn't last very long, because half an hour later, it looked beautiful on my skin. I didn't quite understand how it did that, but I would urge you that if you've already bought this and you first apply it and you don't like it on first application, persevere with it, leave it for a good half an hour and see how you feel about it after that. So I'm definitely getting less coverage with a sponge. This is a versatile foundation. Obviously it has to be, because you can use this on your body as well as on your face. But you can definitely get a sheer to light coverage with this. You can loosen this off. You can also add a bit of moisturizer to this if you want a really sheer coverage. But you can build this up if you want a fuller coverage. Okay, so the side that I applied with a sponge, really beautiful finish. It's just evened my skin tone out really beautifully. It's got a lovely glowy sheen on the surface of the skin, which will dull down a little bit more as this dries down into the skin. But I'm really, really happy with the level of coverage. So I would say I've got light coverage there. It's just evened everything out and it just looks beautiful. Really, really beautiful. On the side that I applied with a brush, much more coverage on this side, so more of a perfect finish. You can still see freckles through and some imperfections though, so I would say medium coverage. I really like it. It looks slightly heavier on this side than it does on the side that I applied with a sponge, where really you can't see any product on the surface of the skin at all. It's very, very natural. This is not an airbrushing foundation. This does not make my pores look smaller, but it doesn't emphasize them either. So it doesn't draw attention to them. It doesn't make them look bigger, but it definitely doesn't airbrush them because of that really beautiful sheen on the surface of the skin. Feels really nice, feels hydrating, but lightweight. Feels slightly heavier on the side that I applied with a brush, but still it feels more like a moisturizer than a foundation, and it's practically undetectable to sight and also to feel on the side that I applied with a sponge. So at this moment in time, really happy. It's a great shade match for me. If you are my shade twin, this is F2. I'm gonna go and put the rest of my products on and I'll be right back. So that's the finished look for today, and I've got to say I really, really like it. All of the rest of my products, my bronzer, my blush, the powder, just glided on effortlessly, blended out seamlessly. There's no patchiness, there's no clinging with other products, even powder products. This has dried down. It's slightly less tacky on the side that I applied with a sponge, because obviously it's got less product on that side. Slightly tackier on the side that has more coverage, but it's not a tackiness that's uncomfortable. And I've got a feeling that if I applied a setting spray over the top of this, you wouldn't have any of that at all. I haven't powdered all of this in place, so my cheeks have no powder on, which is probably why they're still feeling slightly tacky to the touch. Everywhere else, touch dry. So really happy so far. This has got the right amount of glow. So it's glowy enough that it looks flattering and girly and very youthful, but not too glowy that it emphasizes all of my pores, all of my imperfections, and all of my texture. It just looks really nice on my skin. So let me show you this up close and personal. So as you can see on the side that I applied with a brush, it has clung to a couple of my dry patches, but every single foundation at the moment tends to do that. So I'm being really, really picky here, but I have to mention it. So if you have really bad dry patches, this might not be for you. Having said that, it has softened over time as my natural oils have come back through this foundation. They've looked less and less noticeable. On the side that I've applied with a sponge, absolutely beautiful, really, really lovely coverage. I think it looks extremely flattering, very youthful, and yeah, I just don't feel like I can complain about this. It hasn't sank into any fine lines, any wrinkles, any pores. One thing I will say is that after around about 20 minutes, which is the time that it's taken to put on the rest of my products, the smell has gone. So it's either gone or I just don't notice it anymore. So 20 minutes and that smell of vanilla has disappeared. Thank goodness, because there's so many people that love the smell of vanilla, but there's also a lot of us that really don't. So I'm glad that that has disappeared. I'm gonna go and get on with the rest of my day. I will check in with you later on to show you how this is worn. Keep all fingers crossed, because if I still like this at the end of the day, this is the most cost-effective foundation that I think I've ever tried, because although it's £15, and I feel like for an affordable foundation £15 is actually quite expensive, this is 4 times the amount of product that you would get in any regular foundation. 120 mils instead of the standard 30. So really, if we're going on the normal amount of product that you get in a foundation, this is basically costing me £4 for the same amount. Less than £4 actually. So yeah, wow. I'll see you all in a bit. Welcome back to the check-in. It's now been 9.5 hours since I first applied this foundation to my skin, and it's done pretty well. I do need to make you aware that, like all foundations, but particularly this one, this will change depending on what you put underneath it. So this has definitely looked very different depending on what SPF I've had underneath it or what moisturizer I've chosen to wear. My skin felt really dry this morning, so I put quite a rich moisturizer and also a rich SPF on, and this foundation is slightly shinier than it was yesterday when I used quite a rich moisturizer but a mattifying SPF. So you do have to play around with the products that you put underneath it to get the exact look that you want to create with this. So I know a lot of you are going to ask me what are the similarities and differences between the Revolution face and body and the MAC face and body, and also the Dior Backstage face and body. So this has a similar finish on the surface of the skin as the MAC face and body, so definitely not the same level of coverage as the MAC face and body. The MAC face and body's coverage is more sheer to medium coverage, whereas this is more light to full coverage. So this will give you a lot more coverage, but a similar finish, which is that nice, beautiful, glowy, youthful sheen on the surface of the skin, which I really like. The Dior Backstage will give you a similar level of coverage to this, but the finish is completely different. So the finish is more of a natural matte, it's more airbrushing, it lasts longer, definitely not as glowy as this foundation. Another thing I've noticed about this foundation is it's not entirely transfer resistant. Now, when I say that, I mean that when I press my phone up against my face, I will get that greasy sheen on the surface of my phone, but it doesn't lift the entire foundation. So I've had plenty of phone calls today, so I've had my phone pressed up against my face, and all the foundation still looks intact. It doesn't look patchy. So it's done really, really well considering how many times I've had my phone pressed up against my face, but it's not entirely transfer resistant. You are still going to get a little bit of transfer. So let's just look at this up close and personal, because from a distance, this still looks really nice. It's only when you get really up close that it starts to look a little bit heavier in places. So this is looking a little bit on the shiny side for me now. I would want to blot this at this point, but it has been 9.5 hours, so I'm pretty pleased with how this is worn throughout the day. Having said that, because of the level of dewiness on the skin at this stage, those with oily skin probably won't get on with this, and also because of that earlier clinging to those drier patches, anybody with super dry skin probably won't get on with this either. It has felt super nourishing on the skin all day though. It hasn't been one of those foundations that has felt tight in any way, so if you have got a little bit of dry skin, you still may want to give this one a try. Now, I haven't tried this out on my body today. I am not one of those people that really likes foundation on my body, but I know that this is marketed at those people that want to buy a slightly deeper shade and maybe want to create that tanned look immediately without having to use a fake tan product. That's not my sort of thing, but I definitely would use this as an everyday foundation. Is this the best foundation I've ever tried? No. Is it the most flattering foundation that I've ever had on my skin? No to that as well. But it's been quite long wearing, and considering it doesn't say that it is a long wearing foundation, I think it's worn really well. And for the price, I think it's really decent. So, if you have a combination skin and you don't mind blotting this a couple of times throughout the day, or if you have a slightly dry skin or a normal skin, I would definitely try this out, because although the £15 price tag I believe is quite expensive for an affordable foundation, an affordable brand, you get a lot of product for your money, which makes this really quite cost effective. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you're planning on trying this or whether it's a major pass for you. Let me know if you've already tried it. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Let everybody know your thoughts and experiences about this product, and hope to see you all in the next video. Bye everyone.